Be going over my final major project that I made a documentary for. My documentary was about squatting in North London, and basically finding out why people are choosing to squat in North London, and learning more about the social cleansing that's happening in North London, um, which kind of started with Sweetsway in 2014, and that gave it gave a lot of exposure towards squatting, and yeah, it opened up a lot of new avenues for the media and their relationship with squatters and how they present them. So on the screen at the moment, I've got my project proposal, which basically explains my project concept. And here I've said that it is an urban realist documentary involving squatters, and that I was going to film it in observational mode, but it will also feature participatory features. And it also says that I'm going to be focusing on a small group of squatters that I met in Whetstone, which is still true. Um, so I wanted to just use this documentary to raise awareness about social cleansing, as I mentioned before. Also raise awareness about squatters in general, because I feel like they're becoming a dying breed, um, and they do a lot of really great work for the community. So I just kind of wanted to make people aware of what they're doing for their communities. So I said here that I was going to focus on protest sites, which I did. And then I kind of just listed all of my skills as well. You know, that I can use Final Cut Pro a lot better now. Uh, I can write documents in Harvard methods. I know how to edit audio, Photoshop, and I can also, run a YouTube page, run a Wix page, which are all things that I kind of gained over the last 2 years of doing this media course. And then I also had my schedule. So now it's the 17th. So we're just about getting up to the deadline now. And yeah, I'm just about there. So yes, so I'm going to start by just quickly going on my research document. And here I'm going to talk about my demographics. So my target audience, I created 2 surveys to try and figure out the right audience for my documentary. I do ask in the survey if they watch documentaries, how often they watch them, and their favourite genre of documentary. So what I did was I compared that with the qualitative survey that I did, to really help me focus and find an exact target audience. So I learned that every 18 to 24-year-old has watched a documentary before and does watch them. It was an equal split of male and females, and most of them were students. So from all of these findings, I kind of just decided that my target demographic would be 18 to 30-year-olds, most likely from B and below classes, as higher classes tend to have different opinions on squatters from the research I've done. I was aiming at primarily at Londoners, because people in London know about the current housing crisis, and they know about the social cleansing that is happening through all the boroughs, really. So I thought that by aiming it at Londoners, it could kind of help bring communities together more, and it would help them understand why squatters do the things that they do. And I also did want it to be aimed at a slightly more open-minded audience, so that's kind of why I went for younger generations, as typically, as a stereotype, they're more open to new ideas. And artistic types of people, like the creatives, may also enjoy really the content of my documentary. So here's some screenshots of the survey I did. And then I just researched some similar products, as I wanted to see what was already on the market. there's a small documentary about Sweet Suede by Channel 4, which was quite a nice, simple documentary just explaining what they were doing. There's another documentary called The Art of Squatting that was published in 2012, which is when the new squatting laws were passed, so that's quite relevant. And the one that I found the most relevant was Squatting in London, called The Colourless Glass. The general structure of the documentary really related to how I wanted mine to be like, and the content was really informative and really good. So that's kind of what I found for similar products. This is kind of my secondary research. I had a look at BBC, Vimeo, film festivals, lots of film festivals. I looked at other survey results. I looked at Barb, reviews, forums, and then I also did my own hardware research. So that's kind of what the main things that I found research-wise that helped to aid my project. These are my recce's, contact with experts and contributors, focus groups, and then another survey that I did. So I've been using Blogger to basically just note down everything that I've done over the past few months, just so that when I do hand this project in, the tutors will know where I'm at different points, what I accomplished during the weeks of production time, editing time, and pre-production research. So I just made sure that every day I was writing an entry, using images to illustrate some of my points, just to help make things a bit clearer. So my final kind of video came out like this. So I had to change the music due to copyright laws. I used archive footage that you can see here, and then this is my interviews. So this was Whetstone. Then I used some more archive footage back here, so Dulles Valley. Then I went on to Dalston. I did a short few minutes on Dalston, and then I went back to Dulles Valley as I thought it was the most prominent story I had of all three squats. So that was my final production. The time it took, it's 9 minutes, 10 seconds. So just under the 10-minute mark that I was originally aiming for. So my production has come out well. I've received lots of feedback on Facebook, as you can see here. So I've got a lot of comments from friends and family. A lot of people have said it's similar to Vice-style documentaries. And then I've also put it on my Wix page, here in my show reel, so when it comes up. So I've got that there for future reference. I've also put it on YouTube that I'll just quickly show you guys. So if it loads. Oh, there we go. So here it's got 196 views, 2 comments. The Dulles Valley, actually, they corrected me and they are still open. So what I've done is I've changed that in the final edit, and I'm going to probably upload that version within the next week, as I want them to get as much exposure as possible. And I just got another comment there saying it's a great video. I'm still currently collecting survey results, but so far I've got about 13 responses, which is pretty good. Lots of really insightful feedback. So now I'm kind of at the point where I'm just receiving feedback. I've been speaking to Barnet TV and Exposure, received some feedback from them. Barnet TV may be showing it on their website. And that's it, really. So that is basically how my